So so I'm working for this show. I'm working for Love and Hip Hop, and I'm working for like American Idol. I'm working for So You Think You Can Dance. All of these reality shows.
And what are you doing?
PA. So I'm on the sets, personal assistant, basically, or production assistant in production. So essentially, you are the lowest of the low. You get coffee, you move a lot, you do whatever they tell you to do. But that's like the entry into production. But when I was on these different sets and I was meeting people, they were like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? You just put in your hours and then you'll rise up to be this great director and eventually you get your shot. But I was running into people who was like 40 years old and they had been PAs for like 10 years, 15 years.
Shot.
And I'm like, something wrong with the system. Somebody feeding y'all bull because this ain't how you actually get ahead. If you want to be a major person in production. This is not, granted, you get the experience, but that's not the proper way to move up, or that's not the only way to move up. Let me say that. That's not the only way. Some people do move up in those ranks, but that's not the only way. But that's what society and the industry was feeding me at the time. So I'm looking at this, I'm like, something not right about this. I'm not trying to be 40 years old and then I finally get my shot. I got to figure something out. Went back to YouTube. But at the same time, I'm also, I landed a more permanent PA job for Property Brothers, and this is on HGTV. So now like, I'm a little step. I'm working into in TV on a higher level at this point, and so I looking at that, but I got real good with the camera guys. They would let me take the equipment home and shoot videos.
Really?
So that's how I was able to step up my quality. In some of my videos at the time, and I'm gaining knowledge from them. They teaching me like, yeah, this is how you white balance, this is how you do this and that, and it's just furthering my skills that I had built when I was in high school at my TV show. So I'm just adding on to this, and I'm still doing my skits, working a job. And
where's your following in terms of YouTube and social media? Where's your following right now?
At this time, I got maybe 30,000 on YouTube. Facebook, I think, is kind of non-existent at the time. Instagram is it's mostly maybe like 5,000 people, maybe. Right. And so nothing crazy at the time. So
you're heaviest on YouTube because that's where you're spending the most energy.
Yeah, but at the time, that was just because that's what me and my partner had built up to. So I had built up to 30,000 and just sat at 30,000. But because I stopped being consistent.
Right.
So used equipment, I'm still producing stuff. And then I hit me. I was like, all right, I'm gonna come to my mom and I'm gonna tell her, just give me 6 months. I just need you to pay my bills for 6 months. And if it don't work out, I'll go get a job. She was like, okay. And I was like, okay. Not 2 weeks later, she calls me and she's like, yo, this airline is hiring. I think you should go ahead and apply for this because my mom wanted free flights.
Right.
She knew that the benefits.
Smart woman.
And I'm like, Mom, we just talked about this. She's like, yeah, but you can do them little videos on the side. You know what I'm saying? You got more free time. I'm like, all right, applied, got the job.
Which airline?
Delta.
Oh, you winning.
So the free flights come in. Mom's super happy. Worst, best job I've ever had in my life. Terrible. I'm hating it. Every minute I'm on the plane, I could be making a video or I could be writing, but my ideas are coming to me on the plane. So now I'm like, all right, let me write this on the plane. So I'm in the back, you know what I'm saying? They doing safety demos and everything. I'm in the back writing scripts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm supposed to be doing my job. I'm supposed to be serving. I'm supposed to call lights going off. I'm writing scripts in the back. Like, no, I'm not going to get it. Somebody else will get that. Yeah, I'm like, y'all not that thirsty, dog. It's like a 30-minute flight. You know what I'm saying? I'm doing stuff like that. So I'm in the back. I'm the whole time just like cultivating my skills. And then the Vines, and like I said, pops up, the IGs, jump on Vine, try to do content, leaving YouTube, which made me not consistent. Then IG got the 15-second videos, went to IG. Not consistent on YouTube again. Then Facebook come out with videos. Go to Facebook. I have huge success on Facebook. I grow to like 300,000 subs. 300,000 subs or follows and likes on Facebook. So this is around 2016, 17 now. Maybe, yeah, around that time. Growing to Facebook, but still not consistent on YouTube. And I still wasn't making money.
So you're jumping around to the thing that you think is hot.
Jumping around.
You know what's so crazy? I still haven't like gotten to Reels because I don't want to take my eye off the ball. And it seems easy. Well, you just create something up. But I don't want to chase it. I'm in a good lane that I'm building.
Stay in the lane. Trust me. Stay in the lane. And what I learned though when I jumped from all these platforms, YouTube had rose. YouTube has still had good content. And so that's when, after I'm jumping from these different platforms, I'm still trying to figure out not making sense. That's when Big Ja, he starts taking off. And I'm in a text group. It's a bunch of us influencers in this text group from all over the US.
Really?
And we drop our videos in there. Hey,
who in the group though?
Like, it's me, it's Ja, it's Troy in LA, it's Jamal the Creative. Who else was in there?
Jamal. That's crazy. I was thinking like, yo, all of my favorites are probably in this group.
Yeah. So those people, I'm trying to think. It's like Devon was in there. He's an IG guy. It's some other people that's IG.
So all y'all just stick together.
All us that are kind of like with medium numbers right now, we were in that group essentially. So Ja was doing YouTube, and he was the one that was having success. But I'm just like, how is he doing it?
Yeah.
So because I knew Troy in LA, me and him started our YouTube channels around the same time. So it's kind of like a freshman class of XXL. It's kind of like that. You know what I'm saying? It's a bunch of us that together we started around the same time and we always trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I went to LA because I had free flights. Me and Jamal, the creative, we went to LA. And when I tell you we in LA, we're all lost. We just don't know. We in Starbucks with Troy and he's like down and out. I'm talking about look bad.
Really?
Like this looked like life had hit him and he didn't know how to rebound. He was in a relationship at the time and just the way he dressed was different and all this stuff. And I remember having that conversation with him and being like, yeah, we just got to figure it out. Months go by and we still producing content, but it's still not consistent. I just start seeing him like glow up. Like I see his clothes starting to change on Instagram. And that's the first sign you can tell when somebody's getting money. I pay attention. I can tell you every step that somebody is at in their YouTube career because I studied all these people. I know what it looks like. When his clothes start to change and when the girls around him start looking better. That's when you can tell somebody's on to something and they're making money on social media. So I'm looking at this like, hey man, Jamal, like, hey, you see, buddy? You see, like, he wasn't looking like that. You know what I'm saying? So I hit him up. I hit Troy up. I'm like, hey, man, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yeah, man, I'm on this YouTube grind. You need to get on it.
I knew it.
Okay. Like, what YouTube grind? All right, yeah. But like, that's good and all. But like, what the money is in that? He was like, big money. What are you talking about? And he's like, yeah, it's just good money in it. Just keep going, bro. Trust me, consistency. All right, so I got bold then. I'm a person like I need to see it. I need to see some form of motivation. Like I need to hear the number that you're making monetary. And it's not to count your pockets or anything. It's just to know that I can do it too. Yeah. If I see you do it, I know I can do it because you told me. So I was like, man, I'm sorry, I don't even want to count your pockets, but I gotta ask, what we talking about check-wise? He was like 10 grand. Excuse me?
Making videos.
10 grand of what? Like 10 grand of what? 10 grand what we talking about? A month? He's like, yeah. And he was like, I'm just small in it. He's like, my homie, Big Ja, make way more.
He was going nuts.
And I was like, oh, okay. Went back to Jamal, report the information. Hey, we got to figure this YouTube thing out. So, and now this fast forwards a little bit to like 2018, 2019, around that time. I'm producing videos, but going through stuff in my relationship and that's also picking your partner is the most important thing you'll ever do. So make sure y'all pick correctly. Girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is, make sure you pick correctly because who you are around, their energy, how it affects you is so important. I was in a super toxic relationship. I'm talking about I was in a dark hole.
What made the relationship toxic?
It was she had her traumas, I had mine. We weren't communicating. She was very narcissistic. And I'm talking about a girl that will tear you down. Like not like meaning like you ain't ish and not like that, but mentally she would do things that mess with my mind. And it affected my creativity. But I knew $10,000. I was like, he made $10,000. I gotta figure this out. So got out of the relationship.
Golly.
And that's a whole
The story's like a movie. I hope it's a movie.
It's a whole thing. Before we had broke up, we had bought a house together, Airbnb'd it, and then we broke up. She took it and Now she has this Airbnb I have no profits to. I'm on the deed of the house and all of this stuff. So I'm missing out on all money. I'm missing out on all money and I'm still down and out. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to pick myself out of this hole, but I know $10,000. So I was like, all right, cool. I'm going to let it go. I decided, just let her have this. I'm going to have to circle back around to this because this weighing on my mental is taking me away from my goal. So after I get that $10,000, I hit TK up, who is my girlfriend now. At the time, we were just friends.
You started making the $10,000.
Getting to that. So like 2018-ish, I hit TK up and I'm like, yo, if we just consistent with these videos.
Was that your girl at the time?
TK wasn't my girl. That was just my friend. Me and TK were both, we were still in the negative relationship that I was in. I was still in it. And TK was in her relationship. And we would literally lay in bed at night texting each other of how sorry our relationships was and how we just wanted better.
And how did y'all connect though? How did y'all?
So we connected, she went to Clark.
Yep.
And we connected during the Vine time. She used to film Vine videos, and I seen her and my friend introduced us, and we shot some content back when I had the success on Facebook. So that's when TK first started coming around. This was 2014.
Right.
So then fast forward, we still remain friends. We still work together on some things. But then I hit her and I was like, no, we need to just lock in, the two of us. And we used to text about our relationship, and we never even had feelings for each other. Consistent. And the first video we filmed together, it went viral. Now I'm out of my relationship, but I'm still dealing with this girl a little bit. You know how it is.
Oh, yeah.
So
absolutely.
Went viral. And like TK was like, okay, yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. So then we start hitting the videos. We start going heavy on the couples content, heavy on it. And then my birthday rolls around and I'm on my way to Bali. YouTube money is like, it's around maybe like $1,000 around the time I was making. So it wasn't nothing to live off of, but I knew with my airline job, I was like, I gotta find a way to make this be my bread and butter. Was on the way to Bali and my YouTube said $5,000. $5,000. I had got like 4.5 million views that month or something. The video that went viral helped, and the other videos we were creating, consistency. It was building up to this.
Hold on. So you had 4.5 million that
monthly views that I was getting
in the month.
But because I wasn't consistent and I was just building up to it, my CPMs were low. So that's why it amounted to about $5,000.
Now it will the CPM, high. Please.
So CPM is cost per click or cost per. The M stands for something else, but it's basically cost per click, and it's essentially how much you get paid per 1,000 views you get on a video.